coming up next.
Penn Trafford has new mental health resources for students who are struggling. We talked to the guidance office for more details.
A basketball star is highlighted as the team moves into the playoffs. We will find out who that is.
All this and more on today's episode of Wake Up Warriors.
Live from Penn Trafford High School, this is Wake Up Warriors. Wake Up Warriors starts now.
Good morning, Penn Trafford, and welcome to Wake Up Warriors. Today is Friday, February 11th. I'm TJ.
And I'm Phelan.
Students have had a lot to deal with during the last 2 years of the pandemic. Mental health has become a much larger issue for many students here in Penn Trafford. The administration has noticed and taken action to help their students. Reporter Zach Grabowski asked the guidance counselors to give more insight into what they did to help students' mental health.
During the last 2 years of the pandemic, Penn Trafford students have been struggling a lot mentally. The guidance office has noticed and has taken several measures to help students with their mental health.
Mental health has always been an issue and a topic for students, and just how they navigate the world. But I think with the pandemic, the isolation, and then obviously personal pressures that kids have.
Last year, I know a lot of students, if they were having a bad day, they simply stayed home and logged on, where this year they're forced to come into the building and might be having a bad day and having to maybe hit it head on, which for some students becomes a struggle.
Anxiety is definitely something that I've seen increase, and I think it's just because we've shifted how things work from last year to this year.
I always think that mental health is a need for students at all levels, and the more mental health assistance we can get, the better.
We have the SAP program, the Student Assistance Program. It is a way to help get students additional resources, including mental health services.
If counselors see a decline in academics, if we get reports from teachers, we check in with students individually.
The frequency of students coming into our office definitely increased at the beginning of this year.
All the counselors, administrators, we noticed that students were just kind of struggling.
We had a ton of students coming in just needing additional support.
Through advocation, we were able to get some extra counselors here.
Superintendent Dr. Harris hired some therapists through InnerSight to come into the building.
There were a couple different ideas that were thrown around as to what we could do to help support our students best. This was what seemed to work out the best with our situation.
We have to see what their availability is and when they can meet with them.
When we've talked to the students, it's a matter of which one do you think would work best for you, and then we try to see if we can make that align with their schedules.
If you're having a tough time, that you talk with somebody. That's what people think, I'm in this by myself and I don't have any help. And it's just not true.
It's hard to deal with things on your own. Sometimes it helps to have that outside perspective. So if you're not comfortable coming to one of us, reach out to anyone you're close to that you feel safe with.
Do things that help you to feel good. Surround yourself with people that are helpful and supportive, and know when to identify when you may need to get away from folks that don't make you feel so good, and things that maybe you are doing that aren't helping you. So just keep an eye on yourself. Do some self-investigation.
This has been Zach Grabowski reporting for PTTV.
FBLA had a competition last week and had great success. We sat down with member Ryan Litzinger to discuss what the victory meant to the team.
FBLA stands for Future Business Leaders of America, and it's a club where if you're in computer science, business, marketing, anything like that, you can compete against each other at different schools, and you can get a good experience of what maybe the business world is like. So we had a regional conference in the past couple months, and basically if you have a speaking event or a test event, you can work on that. So we had about 20-ish students go to states, which is a record number for us. We normally have about 10, so we almost doubled our average. You don't just have to be in business. I know it's future business leaders, but I'm in computer science and I've exceeded at it. People that are doing, marketing, accounting, there's tons of different events, so you don't only have to do business to be in it.
On Tuesday, Mr. Konopka's zoology classes dissected lampreys, which are a part of the phylum Chordata. The class learned that lampreys are in the same phylum as humans because of their cartilage backbone. The eel-like animal has a large amount of teeth, but no jaw.
The Student Union is hosting the Morp Dance, which will be held on Saturday, March 5th in the gym from 7 to 10 p.m. The purpose of the dance is to raise money to alleviate the cost of prom. The theme for the dance is neon and no dates are necessary. Tickets are $15 and will be on sale starting this Monday up to February 23rd in the cafeteria during all lunches. You must be off the restricted list to purchase a ticket. Outside guests are not permitted. Please email Ms. Martini or Mrs. Thornton with any questions or concerns.
The yearbook staff is selling PT Spirit Socks in the cafeteria during all lunches today through February 16th. The cost is $15 and cash is preferred, but checks can be made out to Penn Trafford yearbook.
National Honor Society holds the school's most prestigious students. We talked to Mrs. Kathy Kelly Garris to see how these students stay on top of their honor roll.
So in March, around March, Mrs. Popovich does the food drive, and all NHS students are asked to submit 5 non-perishable items. If you cannot do that, you are asked to help the nurse with packing the items, and that would count as your community service, and that's a mandatory project. So we had 3 mandatory projects: Veterans Drive, the Christmas Toys for Tots, and the food drive. All community service is due by April 1st, and to be eligible for that, it has to be performed any time after April 1st of last year. The other thing is, each 9 weeks, an NHS member has to keep up a grade point average of a 3.75.
On Wednesday, the theater classes here at Penn Trafford took a trip to the Byam Theater in Pittsburgh to participate in 4 workshops dedicated to the technical side of theater. Throughout the day, the students took classes in scenic design, playwriting, directing, and lighting design. Each class consisted of interactive activities, anywhere from creating a model to playing with colored lights to help the students understand the importance of the backstage aspects of performance. Thank you to Mrs. Haberberger and Mr. Fox for curating this field trip.
Mr. Babbitt's Biology is starting their annual trout project. We went fishing for more information. Here is Mr. Babbitt with more.
So the program that we're doing is called Trout in the Classroom, and it's a collaboration between Trout Unlimited and the Fish and Boat Commission. They sent us 158 eggs of rainbow trout, and we're going to raise them over here in my classroom. The kids are going to learn about cold water ecosystems. They're going to learn about genetics, respiration, all different sorts of things that trout go through we can apply to our classroom. And then in the spring, we're going to release these trout into a stream and they'll go free.
Mrs. Sinoski's Fashion 2 class has recently been tasked with a project on window displays. Students work to create their very own window displays to market unique items or types of clothing such as Western wear and genderless fashion, each display being fitted with their very own store name. The students' works are on display outside of the fashion room near the nurse's office. Please stop by and take a look. Great job to the fashion warriors and keep up the fantastic work.
Attention students, if you want to take the SAT at Penn Trafford on Saturday, March 12th, the deadline to register without a late fee is today. Sign up at SAT.org.
Last night was a big night in sports for our Warriors. Let's send it over to Liam for the sports rundown.
Last night, the girls basketball team played the Norwin Knights in their final conference game. We have some highlights from the exciting game last night.
Last night, the girls' varsity basketball team took on their crosstown opponents, the Norwin Knights, in a game that left fans on the edge of their seat. The Knights looked like they were going to take us down in the first 3 quarters, but then the Warriors tied the game 34-34 with 1 minute left in the 4th quarter. The Knights then brought it to a score of 36-34 with 45 seconds left. Thanks to senior Mara Suman, the score was now 37-36 with 22 seconds left. The game ended with a final score of 37-36. The girls are now headed to playoffs after their final regular season game against Greater Latrobe next week. Great job to the girls last night.
Mara Suman has played basketball for over 10 years now. We sent Morgan Fong to find out more about her accomplishments, improvements, and what has motivated her over the last decade in her basketball career.
Mara Suman has been playing basketball since she was in elementary school, but this year she's a senior. I spoke to her about some of her accomplishments throughout this season.
I've been playing since 1st grade on little carpet courts with little balls, so it's been a while, and I've just improved by, getting in the gym as much as possible and, kind of working on my skills. There's been many highs, but also many lows that I've had to overcome, so I think it's taught me very valuable lessons for life that I can, take with me after basketball is done. It's taught me to be a leader. It's taught me to be a team player, and it's taught me to work through adversity. My mom has definitely been a key factor in my basketball career, just in my life as a whole. But she's pushed me to work my hardest. She's pushed me to do more and kind of never stay satisfied with my work. So you know, she celebrates with me, but she'll also, you know, teach me her ways, and she's taught me to break it down on the defensive end. So I definitely look up to her the most. You know, my mom always taught me that defense wins games because it turns into offensive points. So I kind of can see that I've made a contribution on that side of the court. So I'm happy to do that.
I then spoke to one of her coaches to see how she shined this year.
She's just one of the hardest workers. I mean, putting in time for her shot, her defense is all effort. So making yourself a player that's been good when she was little is really hard to do all the way through until you're a senior, because you have such a high when you're younger. If you're dominating, you could take plays off and take time off, and she never did that. She was always staying to work at her game, staying after, shooting. It's true that your best player has to be your hardest worker, and she absolutely exemplifies that. And she brings everybody together. She's the glue. You know, when somebody needs to model after her, she is the perfect model to how to play, and she just brings everybody together. We need that. She makes people stay after to shoot with her, but in the best way, in a kind way that people want to follow her because she's that leader.
This has been Morgan Fong reporting for PTTV.
We now have Mara live with Becca to ask her about her fantastic game yesterday.
Thanks, Liam. I'm here with Mara Suman. Mara, the game was neck and neck in the first quarter. What happened between then and the fourth quarter that led you guys to victory?
So we knew we had to score more on the offensive side, obviously, but I think anticipating passes and kind of breaking it down on the defensive end is kind of what would pull us through with a win, and we did exactly that. So
you had the game-winning basket last night. How exciting was that for you?
It was very exciting. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I'm so excited today. We're feeling that energy. We celebrated last night, celebrated today, but you know, I didn't care who scored that bucket or who converted on it. I just wanted to come out with a win. So
this was the last conference game of the season for you guys. How are you feeling going into playoffs?
We feel great. I think this win last night, the last section game, kind of brought the momentum, and it will carry over into the playoffs. So we got to stay focused. You know, I said we'll celebrate, but we're going to go back and be focused tomorrow. So,
well, everyone here at PT is wishing you and the team the best of luck. Thank you so much for joining us today, and let's go back to Liam with the rest of the sports for today.
5 students on the rifle team competed in individual whip-eels yesterday. Seth Bogman placed 4th with a 217X 5C, and Mallory McCrae placed 6th with a 217X 4C. Both of these individuals are moving on to the state competition. Our bowling team had a fantastic night at Main Lanes on Tuesday, with the girls team winning all 3 games, with MVP Alyssa Belest scoring an incredible 596. The boys team continued their victories, winning 2 out of the 3 of their games. Congratulations to both teams on their way to the Whip-Eel Championship. We have a light schedule tonight in sports. We have varsity and JV boys basketball, traveling to Norwin to take on the Knights tonight with JV tip-off at 6 and varsity 7:30. Good luck to the boys tonight. That's all I have for sports today. Let's send it back to the desk to close.
Thank you for watching Wake Up Warriors. Please stand for the Pledge of the Flag. I'm TJ.
And I'm Phelan. Have a great day, PT.